Michonne was such a badass in this episode. It's crazy. She was such a badass in this episode. And I want to start off with Michonne. Beginning of the episode, we see Michonne walking back to the prison, and she assembles the zombies like before in the first part of the seasons, or where we saw she was walking around with the zombies just to blend in with every other zombie. And she found Herschel's head. That scene was that scene was crazy. She found Herschel's head on the floor and she stabbed it. And I thought she was gonna walk away and not stab his head, but she just stabbed his head. That scene was epic. Then she goes into the forest and stuff, and she finds footprints in the mud. Now I don't know what they're trying to get at with those footprints. Maybe they're saying that, you know, maybe they're just trying to tell us the squad, the other teammates, they're still alive. The other cast are still alive. I think that's what they're hinting at. Or maybe there's somebody else that strolled away from the fight scene. So I don't know what was going on with that scene. But then, you know, she leaves the prison and she's walking around, and then we finally get a backstory from Michonne. That's the part that I really like. We finally get a backstory on what she's all about. And basically in the backstory, she was in her kitchen with her lover, and I'm guessing it's her boyfriend or her lover's friend. I mean, no, her lover, and I'm guessing it's her brother or her lover's friend. That's what I meant to say. So they're in the kitchen and they were talking and everything, and she had her baby, and then we see, you know, we clearly saw it was a dream, because we saw the sword. She had the sword and she put it into the knife holder, and we could clearly see it was a dream after that scene, after that part right there. And basically, you know, her lover and her brother, I'm guessing, is sitting at the table, and they're like, yo, what are we gonna do, like and all that stuff. No, at first they were pretty calm and stuff, because there was 3 different transitions. At first they were pretty calm, then they changed into what are we gonna do, then they changed to armless zombies, and she just started bugging out, and then her baby was gone, and she's like, yo, what's going on? Then she wakes up. So that part was epic. We finally get a backstory. Then Carl and Rick. Carl went through this whole I'm a badass phase, and then it changed at the end of the episode, you know, when they were in the store and he wanted to kill the zombie, and then we see him take the zombies around back where he gets confronted by another zombie. So he went through the badass phase, and even though he went through the badass phase, we find out that Carl can really survive on his own. It's just that he's too young. And so he has the mindset that he can survive, which he told Rick through his whole rant. So he has the mindset that he can survive, but he's still a kid. That's what we find out when he couldn't kill Rick. We know that he's still a kid and he can't do it. So that was the whole thing with Carl and Rick. They're going back and forth. He said, oh, Shane taught me this and all that stuff, and Rick was like, is there something you want to tell me? So Rick is getting the sense that Carl was saying that basically he can't survive. He's not a survivalist, and Shane was. So that's what I think Carl was hinting at when he said that to Rick. So Carl was just going through his badass phase, and it was kind of bugging Rick. Then Rick went into this whole coma thing, and he blacked out and stuff. So Carl was off on his own, and he almost got killed. He almost got killed twice, and all that stuff. He found pudding and all that. So all that was epic in this episode. But I see that Carl can survive on his own. It's just that he's still too young. He's not matured yet. So he still needs his father. Like we saw, he almost lost it when he thought that he had to kill Rick. And then we get this scene where Michonne goes crazy and cuts up all the zombies. And that scene was crazy because she basically lost it. She lost everything. She was starting to lose her mind, like the governor did. But then she found him at the end of the episode, and I think it came back to her. Her spirits came back at the end of the episode, so she's not going to go through that governor phase. And that was basically it. I like the whole Michonne thing. I really wanted to see that backstory. And the whole Carl thing, now that Carl is back to his senses and he finds out that he needs Rick in his life, I think that was cool too. So we definitely needed this episode. This episode was a perfect thing to start off this season, because things look like they're going to get pretty hectic from the previews. The team is obviously still around. We didn't get to see them in this episode, but hopefully we do get to see them in the next episode. So other than that, yo, and Carl found video games. That's another thing. He found video games and he started to feel like a kid again. Then he saw his reflection in the mirror, and then he's like, okay, we're in the zombie apocalypse. I gotta go back to my badass mode. So that was cool. Backstory, that was crazy. And so please leave your comments down below. What do you guys think about this episode? Is there anything you guys saw that I didn't mention? So please leave it down in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe for more of these videos. I'm starting to review this now, so please go to my channel, subscribe for more videos, guys. I'm Edman. I'm out.